Phony impeachment has got to go. Hey, hey.
Ho, ho. Phony impeachment has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Phony impeachment has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Phony impeachment has got to go.
Nice to see you. You know who I am. You know my brother. That's the worst. All right. Are y'all ready? Are the members in here ready? All right. Let's
Happy birthday.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phony impeachment's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phony impeachment's got to go. All right. Come on. Come on, members. Let's come on up here. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, and we have a long list of distinguished members, so I'm going to get to them extremely quickly, but I do want to introduce myself. I'm Brad Woodhouse, Senior Advisor to Congressional Integrity Project, which for the last year has been exposing MAGA Republicans for these phony, politically charged, evidence-free investigations of Joe Biden, and now a phony, evidence-free, politically charged impeachment inquiry, and eventually, likely, impeachment articles against Joe Biden. And how do we know it's evidence-free? Because they can't stand in front of reporters and cite any evidence, just like this morning. Because many of the members have come out, Don Bacon, well, there is no evidence, but we need the inquiry. There is no evidence, but we need the inquiry. And how do we know it's politically charged? And how do we know it's about politics? Because they keep saying that too. Jim Jordan on Stuart Varney's show yesterday said, we're damaging Joe Biden in the polls. That's what this is about. Jamie Comer said, we're damaging Joe Biden in the polls. That's what this is about. They both said it was about the election before they ever got the gavels. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's the puppet master of this whole thing, filed articles of impeachment before Joe Biden had been in office for 24 hours. And they're doing this today. But are they doing child care? No. Are they doing health care?
No.
Are they doing aid to Israel? Aid to Ukraine?
No.
Are they doing anything? This is supposed to be the people's house. But they have made it a person's house. They've made it Donald Trump's house. They are doing Donald Trump's bidding. The last thing I'm going to say before I turn it over to you, Donald Trump is the biggest coward in American politics. He can't run a race on ideas. He can't run a race against an opponent on policy. He has to have disinformation campaigns supporting him, leaks, hacks, phony impeachment, phony corruption charges, phony impeachment. He can't run a race on ideas and policies. So he has to have this. This impeachment inquiry vote today is the surest sign that Donald Trump is a coward and the MAGA cultists are cowards for going along with him. So with that, I want to turn this over to a hero of ours for the work that you've done on this issue, the work that you did on the January 6th Select Committee, the work that you've done to defend democracy, a person who wears Little Steven's bandana almost as well as Little Steven does, the great ranking member of the Oversight Committee, Jamie Raskin.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Jamie.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Brad and Congressional Integrity Project, and thank you all for coming out. Today's impeachment inquiry vote is indeed part of the continuing effort to deny Joe Biden the office of President of the United States. And what we saw it happen on January 6, 2021, when Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection to overturn the presidential election, to set aside the work of Congress in the peaceful transfer of power, to disrupt Vice President Pence in the execution of his duties. And they tried to stop Biden from becoming president then. And now this ridiculous impeachment drive continues the effort to keep Biden from being able to do his presidential duties. You know, the reason that mysteries are called whodunits is because they start with the crime, and then you have to try to figure out who did it. But the Biden impeachment investigation is not a whodunit, it's a what is it? After 11 months, nobody can tell you what Joe Biden's alleged crime is, where it happened, when it happened, what the motive was, or who the victims are. Maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen in Congress was yesterday in the Rules Committee when Joe Neguse was asking Congressman Reschenthaler what the crime was, and he kept saying, "We don't know, that's why we need to create an impeachment inquiry." And they went around the track 3 or 4 times, and he's saying, "But what is it? What is the crime that you're looking for in the impeachment inquiry?" And he said, "We don't know. We need an impeachment inquiry." It was like an M.C. Escher print. And then finally, somebody passed Reschenthaler a note, and he said, "We're looking for a high crime or misdemeanor." And then Neguse said to him, "Well, which high crime or misdemeanor?" Look, Joe Neguse was involved in a real impeachment investigation where there was a real presidential offense when Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection against the Constitution, against the Congress, against the Vice President, against the people's election for president. And we didn't need Sherlock Holmes or a magnifying glass to try to find the presidential crime. It came right into this house and it smashed us in the face. So, they've got a mountain of evidence, but all the evidence shows that Joe Biden is not guilty of any presidential offense. In fact, their own witnesses came to their only public hearing on impeachment, and to a witness said that they did not see sufficient evidence to justify impeachment. Well, don't we need an inquiry then to get more evidence? No, they've gotten whatever they wanted, and don't take my word for that, because Chairman Comer has gone on TV and bragged about the fact that he's gotten 100% compliance with all of his subpoenas. They've gotten hundreds of thousands of pages worth of documents and dozens of hours of testimony from 9 different federal government officials from the Biden administration. And now they're talking about obstruction. It's too late for that, not when you're bragging that you've already gotten everything that you've looked for. The only people obstructing with Chairman Comer's investigation is Chairman Comer, because Hunter Biden said he was going to come today and testify, not just before a few people in a back room, but before the entire committee staff, the entire Congress, the entire country, and the entire world. But they wouldn't have it because they insist upon backroom interrogations where they can then cut and paste and snip and release distorted pieces through selective leaks to the media in order to tell their fraudulent story. So I've got on the Oversight Committee the best committee of new members of Congress that exists, and I want to introduce one of them to you. I think we're starting with Representative Robert Garcia, who is from the 42nd District of California, the former mayor of Long Beach, California, who knows a lot about being a good executive. Please welcome Robert Garcia.
Thank you. I want to start by thanking our ranking member, the leader of our Oversight Committee. Jamie Raskin is a true leader in this effort. I know that in just a few minutes, some of us are going to be back in the House floor, including myself,